Righto guys, this boat, fresh bearings today. She did about 2,300 Ks up to Copeton, and luckily 1/3 of us is a diesel mechanic, so I'm going to handball this straight to Ben and be his assistant. Let's get into it.
Rightio, so today we're here in Mills's shed. He's given me a call to come and give him a hand with his boat trailer wheel bearings. They get pretty shitty quickly just because your boat's always in and out of the water and the grease goes shitty, the bearings go shitty. So we're here to help him change them out today. So we're going to just show you the bare essential tools that you need if you're on the side of the road. So first things first, you're going to need to supply some bearings. So these ones are Supercheap Auto bearings, they're fine, all your servos should have them. Second of all, you need a wheel brace to get the wheel undone. Then you're going to need a bottle jack, get the trailer off the ground. After that, you need a hammer, knock your hubcap off. After that, any set of pliers to get the split pin out. Then after that, a shifter to undo the nut, a punch to bash the races out, along with a pry bar to get the seal out of the back, and a big hammer to go along with your punch. So they are the bare essentials that you need on the side of the road. Today we'll be using rattle guns, jack stands, grease guns, all the good stuff, but they are the bare essentials that you need. So don't get too stressed when you see me using a Milwaukee rattle gun. Jake's going to go ahead and put a jack under there on a nice safe point. Doesn't matter what sort of jack you've got. Rightio, next step, rip the wheel off. Best thing to do with these is put them where you'll never find them. Alright, now we've got the exposed hub here. So Millsy's got his auto greasing hubs, which are really good. All we're going to do now is just take a hammer and lightly tap on the corner of this, and you'll see it start to separate from the main hub. Alrighty, so next step, just going to grab a rag and wipe a bit of grease away from this nut, and you'll see that it's a slotted nut with a split pin through it. So we're just going to want to grab any old pair of pliers and straighten the split pin. Straighten him out like that. Bit of a tap from the bottom and it will expose the head. Grab the head, give him a bit of wriggle, and out she comes. So now most of these nuts will just be finger loose if they've been on there for a while. Back that nut off, sit it to the side, pull your hub forwards and then backwards, and that will expose the front bearing. So we'll take this up on the bench, pull this back seal out, and yeah, we'll show you what's inside. Rightio, so next step is to just pry this seal out of the back of the hub. Just like that. Grease everywhere, there's the seal. That is the back bearing underneath the seal. Just throw them in the bin. Righto, next step is to grab a rag, shove it in this hole and just clean out as much of that old stuff as you can. Once you've finished cleaning out the back, flip her over and clean her out in the front. Rightio, so just like that. We will give it a bit better of a clean up, but all we want to do is expose the bearing races. So that is the bearing race there. Our new bearings come with new races, they always should. So we're going to go ahead and knock those out. I'll show you how to do that. Rightio, so we're just going to want to grab our punch and rest it on the back lip of that and knock it out. Rightio, there's the back race out. Flip her over and do the same. Next step, grab your bearing and seal kit. So our race is going to go down with the taper looking up. Grab a hammer and just lightly work it in. Rightio, so you're just going to want to be super careful not to chip the race. They make some great bearing installation kits that you can buy, they're quite cheap. I just don't have one on me right now, so what you can do is is use your punch and just work evenly around the race and knock it in till it goes home. Or what I've got today in my toolbox, I've just got a big socket that fits over it snug. So we're just going to belt down on that till you'll hear it go home and see it go home as well. So we'll get to that. That's it. Rightio, so we're just going to use some Valvoline multi-purpose grease. Mills is going to jump in on the dirty action. He loves a bit of that, so he's going to, best way to do it is just grab an armful of grease like that, and then you're going to want to use the back side of this bearing here and just nip away at the grease like that until you see the grease coming through the top of the bearing there. Rightio, so there we are, 2 grease bearings, lovely, looking ready to roll. So we're just going to sit these aside somewhere clean for a minute. Grab our hub and we're just going to fill the inside of this with grease too. And grab an armful and just dock it in. Grab your big bearing that goes in the back, sit him in there like that, and then you're going to want to grab, so this is a 2-part seal. This piece gets pressed in after the bearing. Rightio, so we're just going to want to wipe the old goo off the shaft. Alright, so you're going to grab your seal, stick it on. Should be nice and firm to get up on that ledge. After that, you slide your whole hub assembly on. Like that, and then after that your front bearing will go in like that. We're going to grab the nut and the washer, give it a bit of a wipe down too. Alright, so here we're at the part where everyone gets a little bit confused. So now, so this nut is responsible for A, keeping the whole wheel on, and B, the set preload on those bearings. So how you adjust your wheel bearing, what I like to do once you put a brand new wheel bearing in is to just go fairly tight, make sure everything's seated, give it a few rolls around, and back it off, roll it around a bit. Tighten him up again, just really make sure it's seated home. And then as far as adjustment goes, you pretty much, your adjustment should be pretty much shifter weight. It should literally just be as if you let that shifter go, just nip it up. That's all it needs to be. And then once you've found your right adjustment, slip your split pin through. Jake's hubcap. Now Jake's got the auto greasing hubs. They're a really good thing. They keep constant grease pressure pushing through the bearings and trying to keep the water out the back side. So give that a tap on. We're just going to want to pump it up full of grease until the bearing comes out. The bearing plate comes out. Just like that. Good to go. Righto, so that's how you do a pretty simple wheel bearing change. Jake should be right to go to the lake now. We'll double check those wheel bearing adjustments after we've been around the block and double check these wheel nuts with a bar. Away we go. Hope you guys enjoy. Hope this helps someone out that's not too sure what to do. It is a very simple job once you get in there. Just make sure you jack it up safely. Anyone can do it. Get in there, have a crack. There's not much you can stuff up, so tight lines.